Franchise Hockey Manager 3 is a strategy game from Out of the Park Developments. Now, they're most known for Out of the Park Baseball, which is a series that's been going on since the late 90s. And it's great to see them branch out into hockey. I came into this being a longtime fan of the Out of the Park Baseball series, so I had my fair share of expectations, be they fair or unfair. So let's see how it turned out. Now, apart from the interface being slightly different in terms of what goes where, a lot of the drafting and trading remains intact, with the major difference being in the career mode. You're given stat points, much like an RPG, that you can assign, and these can govern how well you do in trades and how well you make your team execute the commands that you give them and that sort of thing. That's the biggest difference. But once you lay all these points in, the trading feels an awful lot like it does in Out of the Park. The big changes really started to kick in game day. See, baseball is broken down play by play for the most part, whereas hockey's a lot more fast-paced, and there's a lot more going on at a single time without a break. So Franchise Hockey Manager 3 being a text-based simulation, that was the first jarring difference between this and the Out of the Park series. I also couldn't help but notice that there weren't a whole lot of options in terms of ways you could customize the in-game experience. Out of the Park Baseball, you could choose between a 3D and a 2D setting. Now, I don't expect them to have invented a 3D setting in their third iteration. It would have been nice to have a little bit more superficial control over a few things in the in-game section, but it really didn't affect things overall. I was able to create new players, and it would accept locally saved JPEGs and whatnot to use as player snapshots. So it was really fun making players based off of memes and then attempting to draft them onto my team. Complete fictional leagues are also present in Franchise Hockey Manager 3. However, on the title screen, these are referred to as sandbox games, which is pretty different. It actually took me a while to figure out exactly where it was because of this terminology change, but they do still exist. So once you get your game set up, then that's the last time you have to worry about that for a very, very long time. Also, when going through the sandbox game creation, they have this guy Sam. Sam is the wizard. He's going to help you set up your game. This guy looks like he was designed to help senior citizens operate Microsoft Office in 1997. You're not welcome here, Sam. However, I was able to get the game set up, and it was a lot of fun. So there's a couple things I'd like to address in terms of problems. I didn't find a whole lot. However, a lot of people were making complaints about crashing. I didn't experience that in my playthrough. However, fans of these types of games tend to put a disproportionately large amount of hours into them, so I'm not saying it doesn't exist, just saying I didn't experience it. Another common complaint is about the interface, but again, I think the only real thing to complain about the interface is that it's different from Out of the Park Baseball. So if you're going from the baseball series into Franchise Hockey Manager, you'll be a little disoriented at first. But by about 30 minutes in, I knew where everything was, so I really think that's not a problem either. The Steam Workshop has 21 items in it, which is really cool, but most of them are face packs and can be really, really large files. Like, we're talking 5+ gigabytes of images. And I guess that would be really neat, but yeah, know that going in before you hit that subscribe button. So, Franchise Hockey Manager 2 had a Metacritic score of 79. Franchise Hockey Manager 3 has a Metacritic score of 64. I don't put a whole lot of stock in these types of scores, but I really don't know why the score has dipped. These types of things can happen if people feel like there aren't enough innovations in the new version. And I didn't play Franchise Hockey Manager 2, so I can't really tell you. But I can say, as a fan of this developer and their products, this seems to really be up to snuff. Full disclosure, a review copy was provided by Out of the Park Developments, but I wasn't getting paid, and they're not giving me any incentive to be dishonest or tell people that it's better than it actually is. So when I say I dug this game, you can take it to the bank. Franchise Hockey Manager 3 is available on Steam, and it's also available on the developer's website, as well as a couple other game dealers out there. It's a good game. Go get yourself a copy. So that's Franchise Hockey Manager 3. It's a good game. It's got a lot to offer, and I certainly enjoyed playing it. Head over to Steam or Out of the Park Development's homepage and pick yourself up a copy for $39.99. This is Critical Failure for Tiger Claw TV, signing off.